problem. My topic actually is how startups can attract opportunities using personal branding. And the reason I chose this topic is very interesting, and I will tell you more about that. But just it's very nice to hear Shahid talk just before me, because like he said, they're going to invest not just in companies and ideas, but in people. So if as a person, as a startup founder, your personal brand is not in line with the values that you claim to stand for, you are not going to win that investment, you're not going to win that customer, and you're not going to attract the funding, the right talent, and the right opportunities. So I'm going to talk about, like I said, how startup founders can use personal branding to attract the right opportunities. Are you guys excited? Perfect. So a little bit about me. I am a serial entrepreneur, and I'm a co-founder of a digital marketing agency, Digital Marketing ROI. I blog about digital marketing, personal branding, growth hacking, etc. at my personal site, sayyedirfanajmal.com. I am also a columnist at Huffington Post, Business.com, Virgin. It's actually Virgin Startup, which is one of the publications of the Virgin Group of Richard Branson, who has, by the way, an amazing personal brand. And I also do some public speaking and digital marketing consultation. Now, who can tell me what personal branding is? What's your idea about what personal branding is? Is there any warrior who can tell me what personal branding is? Who doesn't know what branding is? Raise your hands. Okay, there are a few people. So first of all, I will come to the topic of personal branding later on, but way back, like centuries before, the way branding started was that, if you are a shepherd, a farm owner, you needed to distinguish your cattle, right? So you would brand them and brand them so that they have a distinguished mark on them, right? So that's how it started, but back in the 1950s, it started to have positive connotations, because by that time the product started to have a certain quality already. So if there was a bar of soap, all of the bar of soaps of different companies were almost at the same level. So that's when branding came into place, and companies like P&G, General Foods, Unilever, they started to focus not just on the functional values of their products, but also sentimental value, the emotional values which you can connect with. Right? So when you think of Apple, what do you think about? What sort of sentiments does it bring it to you? Anyone? It's very simple. Yeah, design, very good. So it has that feel where design is there. What about Android? What sort of feeling does it bring it to you? Sorry? So in my opinion, Android, maybe I might be wrong, but Android is more about openness, because it has an open system. So branding is basically the art of making sure that you are representing what you are and what message you have and what values you have rightly to the people who you are doing business with or who you are working with. Got it? So Apple has built a great brand, and this is why when there's a new product being released, you see people camping outside their stores to be the first to buy that product, because they have a certain affinity with that product. There is an emotional value. This is not just a commercial activity. There is something much larger going on over there. Now, a statistic about this, 64% of people cite shared values as the main reason they have a relationship with the brand. Some famous personal brands, Elon Musk, the guy is a genius. He built PayPal. He's using reusable material to send rockets to Mars and colonize Mars. You see him talking about the Hyperloop, which is a very fast moving vehicle. He's talking about artificial intelligence. The guy is everywhere, right? So he has built that brand for himself, where he took actions which are in line with his personal brand. He got money after selling after getting his share from PayPal, and he had invested all that money and some of the money that he had, and he invested all of that, and then he ended up on the couch of someone because he didn't have the run to pay. So that's the kind of person, that's the kind of personal brand that he has built. And so whatever he says, people are going to trust him, I guess 99% of times. Then there is Steve Jobs. I mean, we remember how he was the main sort of a promoter of any new product of Apple, because the product release ceremonies would have us see Steve Jobs basically rocking our worlds and getting us to make up queues in front of Apple stores. There's Richard Branson as well, of course. Now, a lot of you might think that personal branding is not for you, but like I said, when you are even if you are not an entrepreneur, or even if you are an entrepreneur, you have a personal brand. Whatever you are doing, whether you are a lawyer, a doctor, a surgeon, a mechanic, whatever you are, you have a personal brand, right? The reason being that the values that you represent, the actions that you take, the gestures that you make, the way you present yourself is going to give a message to the person, and then he will know if they want to do business with you or not, if they want to call you for the final interview or not, if they want to have coffee with you or not, and especially if they trust you or not, because in business, trust is the most important factor. So most of all, you need to invest in that personal brand that you already have, whether you believe it or not. You do have a personal brand, but you got to invest in it intentionally and consciously. So your brand is everywhere. Like Liam Neeson says, I don't know who you are, but I will Google you and I will find you. So your brand is already there on Google. People are Googling you and they're finding things about you. And if they are not in line with the stuff that you say in interviews or in public product releases or something, then you won't be in a good shape. Now, and one thing being worse than being found on Google is not being found on Google. So if you're not on Google, if you're not on social media, if you're not online, my focus basically here is mostly on social and digital space here. The reason being that we have very limited time, and I want to focus on very practical things which have helped me build my personal brand to some extent, and which has helped me attract some good opportunities. Now, to talk about some of the good opportunities I have been able to attract, my business partner is based in the UK, and I have yet to meet him in person. Okay, we are working together on projects since 1.5 years, and I have yet to meet him in person. We have common friends and all that, but I have yet to meet him in person. But because of the personal brand that he had and the personal brand that I have, we trust each other to an extent that we decided to go into business together, and our team is growing. We have several projects coming up. We have several new ideas coming up, and we trust each other like brothers. So that's the power of personal branding, because it gives you that trust that you need. Another statistic, 90% of people trust product or service recommendations from people they know. So that's personal branding in action. While only 33% people trust messages from a company. What that means is, if your startup or company has a social page, to dumb it down, I guess, and you post a message there, it might have 33% people trusting that message. But if that same message is posted from the personal account of the startup founders or even the employees, because believe it or not, your employees also have a personal brand, it will get trusted even more, because we are humans and we are social animals. We like to trust other people. We are not that much into faceless brands. Even in case of Apple, there was Steve Jobs, right? There were other people who were the face of the company, and which helped us put our trust in that company. Brand messages are shared 24 times more frequently when posted by an employee versus the brand's social media channels. So as you can see that if an employee posts messages from his personal account, it gets shared more often. That means that as a startup owner, you should not be afraid of letting your employees build their own personal brand. Let them build their own personal brand, and encourage them to talk about your company brand as well from their personal brand's social media channels. Content shared by employees receive 8 times more engagement than content shared by brand channels. So that's some more food for thought on the same issue. Now, benefits of personal branding, in case it wasn't clear so far, it helps you being yourself. It's a confidence booster. When you are the best version of yourself, you are being truly honest to your personal brand, and that helps you being more confident. That helps you build credibility. You can become an authority, an expert, an influencer, a thought leader, just as some names I mentioned: Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, and a lot of others. It also helps your target audience see your value proposition. They can see what you stand for. So if I can give an example, if you have created an app which is about fitness, I talk a lot about fitness in my examples because I'm trying to lose some more weight. I've already lost 11 kgs. So if you have built a fitness app and you're talking all the time about your fitness app, you sound very selfish. You sound very, self-promotional. But on the other hand, if you're talking about your personal brand as someone who is passionate about fitness, who has had a fitness journey, right? You must have been obese and you lost that weight, or you ran in a marathon and you did a 5K run in 4 minutes or something. So that's your story, So when you're talking about that, people relate to that personal story. People relate to your personal journey. So that's how you can use your personal brand to see your target audience, your value proposition. Because when they see you talking about fitness and all that, they're obviously going to Google you and look more for you, and they're obviously going to find that you have an app, and that app is the app that maybe helped you lose weight or whatever. It also lets opportunities come to you rather than you running after them. And I will explain this point in a bit more detail in coming slides. So if you Google my name, Sayyid Irfan Ajmal, you will probably see about 50 links coming up. And I'm not saying this to brag about this, and I try to Google my name once in a while and make sure that there is nothing negative about it. So far, there is nothing negative about it. But the point is that when you are when you are being true to yourself and you are promoting your personal brand, you are seen and heard by different people, and they make an impression about yourself. So me being on stage here, coming from thousands of miles, and talking to you guys while having a 1 or 2 fever, and being pumped up on 3 cups of coffee and 3 Panadols is all a part of me strengthening my personal brand. This is going to impact my business and my life and my personal brand, and I already know it because I already made the connections that I needed, right? So how did I do it? I did it by being everywhere. By being everywhere, I don't mean that you should, do everything, but certainly things like speaking helps. You can write. If you are not a great writer, just pick up your phone, record yourself talking about a particular topic, and post that video, or start an audio podcast, or just record yourself talking about a topic, and then hire someone on a freelancing website to transcribe that interview, and then hire an editor to convert that interview, to convert that transcription into a proper article. So there you have an article, and then you can post it in your website, in others' website, and I will talk a bit more about other websites and why it is necessary that you write not just on your own blog but on other websites. As I said, videos and podcasts. There are a lot of people who have podcasts. If you go to your Android phone or your Apple phone and you download a podcast software like Podcast Addict that I use, you will find that there are tons of podcasts on every topic. How many of you know what a podcast is? Okay, good. So for those who don't know, podcast is like a radio show which is on internet. You can listen to it while you are working out, while you are taking a walk, while you are at a gym, and while you are driving. Okay, so you can listen to that information and you can learn so much from that audio podcast. And the best thing in this case with regards to our topic is that all these podcast show hosts, they are looking for exciting stories. They are looking for people to come on their podcast shows because they can't always talk on their own. So, whether you believe it or not, all of you have an amazing story. You might be coming from a war-ridden region. You might have, beaten cancer. You might have had a tough relationship or a tough childhood. So you can use that, your personal story, and connect it with your branding message and your company business, and you can go on these podcast shows and you can promote your personal brand, which in turn promotes your business as well. Does this make sense? Yeah? I am not so sure. Can you guys be a bit loud about that? Yeah. Awesome. So traveling, obviously traveling also widens the horizons and it helps you know more. In this regard, about being everywhere, do listen to the SPI podcast episode number 28 by being everywhere. What Pat Flynn did in this case was that he started to focus. He's a famous entrepreneur and he's a really great guy. There are a lot of scam artists online, but he's one of the legit guys that I really look up to. He started to go outside his website and write for other websites. Speak at other venues. Like for instance, in many cases, the speakers that are talking to you guys, why do you think they took out their time and traveled so far to come here and talk to you guys? For some of you, I'm not saying all of them, but you are their target audience. Okay, so by coming and speaking and sharing their value with you guys, we are gaining access to an audience. So for instance, if you are a fitness expert and you have no visitors on your website, why not write for a fitness magazine and share how one of your students lost XYZ weight? I will just skip through these because I'm told that I have just 5 minutes, so you can go into video marketing as well. That's really huge. I will skip through these statistics as well. And like I said, apart from speaking, like I said, when I started writing for Huffington Post and all these large publications, I started getting sales inquiries and all that right in my inbox without me having to go after them. So that was like a huge revelation for me. But if you can't do that right now, just go to Quora or answers.com or a community site like psychcentral.com and start what people are asking for. So one of the person I know, Faisal Khan, he's from Pakistan. He's an online payments expert. And how do I know that? I know that because whenever I open Quora.com and look for a question regarding online payments, he is there answering those questions. So he has built his brand, and he probably gets a lot of traffic and a lot of inquiries because of that brand, because he's everywhere on Quora. And actually, Quora can give you a lot of ideas for writing a blog topic or creating a video or a podcast as well. So just skipping through these because that's okay. I can send these slides to you by email if you write to me. So you have to be digitally social, and that means that doesn't mean you have to post cat photos. I like them too, but don't post cat photos a lot. Instead, if you are again a fitness expert, you want about 80% of your content to be informational, about LCHF diet, or how to run a 5K run, or why to do dynamic stretching before exercise and static stretching after the exercise, stuff like that. 10% can be semi-promotional, where you can share information about how someone using your app was able to lose 5 pounds in 5 weeks. And the rest of the 10% can be full-fledged promotion, where you talk about how those who purchase your app get a 5% discount or something like that. So I hope that makes sense. I mean, it's not a rock solid formula, but that's the mix you want to go for, because if you're just talking about promotional stuff, people are not going to like you very much. They will tell you it's good, but they won't follow your post. You can do email outreach. Google how Tim Ferriss did email outreach when his editors were not promoting his book. How many have heard of Tim Ferriss and his book, The 4-Hour Work Week? Awesome. So Google how he promoted his book doing email outreach, and you will learn a lot from that. I've actually done a webinar and a case study on this, so you can Google that again. Google SEMrush Syed Irfan Rajbal, and you will find how you can write emails and get to speak for large publications. So if you do all of these, you will become an authority, an expert, maybe an influencer and thought leader. And instead of you going after opportunities, the opportunities will come right in your inbox. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and that's it.